Betting on sports can be hard, but hiring Morgan & Morgan is easy. Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. They have over 100 offices nationwide and more than 1,000 lawyers. Their fee is free unless they win. For more information, go to forthepeople.com/bestbets or dial pound law, pound 529 from your cell phone. That's forthepeople.com/bestbets. This is a paid advertisement.
You always follow the money.
Yeah. This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
It's good to have you on board as we are live in downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. Really fun conversation, Hardcore NFL with Paul Charchian last half hour. If you missed it, you can go to the the VSiN Watch app on your phone, Android or Apple. Get it in the store today and go back and check out Charch today. He's on every single Thursday. As is our next guest, the Meat Man, Steve Wyss, joins the program now, part of the Nordic Football Podcast and Because We Win, and he is on the Progressive guest line. Good to talk to you again, Steve. How are you?
I've been a bit stressed out, guys. I've been watching a lot of soccer matches in the last 3 hours in Europa League, Conference League. Had a few close calls. I might be a bit red in the face. You know what it's like, sports betting, highs and lows. Generally finish on the up, though. That's what matters. Hope you're well.
Mm-hmm. Now, if you were like Nigel, you'd probably have a couple of Stellas already down. Is that the case or no?
I need something from the top shelf after some of the ups and downs I've had today. Crazy frustration of sports stars when they do dumb things does my head in, guys. It really does. I shout at screens and, oh, God, I scared the cat away and everything earlier.
So no appearances on the show today from the cat. Let's begin here. All tickets cash the same. Right, Newcastle takes on Leicester Saturday in the Prim. This is the 12th team in the table against the 16th team in the table. Who do you like and why?
I'm going with a Newcastle blowout win. -1.5 on the Asian handicap here, -115. And, maybe the recent results won't suggest this result, but I actually think there's a big golfing class between the two teams. Leicester have had a new manager, Ruud van Nistelrooy's come in, and he's started with a win and a draw. But if you watch the two games, they have been very, very lucky in those results. They've conceded so many chances and so many shots. And, fair play to them for digging in and managed to get some points. But if they keep playing like this, Leicester, someone's going to turn them over big soon. And this could be the one for Newcastle because Newcastle are underachieving. They need to produce a performance. They certainly need to get a win. And I think they need to win well to get the fans back on their side. I sense there's a lot of frustration in Newcastle at the moment. And sooner or later, they've got so many good attacking players like Isak, Gordon, Callum Wilson's back from injury now, Bruno G in midfield. This is a very good team that should actually be challenging for European positions in the top 6. So, and Leicester, I still think have a big chance of going down. Fair play to the new manager so far. He's got them ticking a fence. I nearly went over here as well. Over 3.25, I think is a good bet here. But the more I think about it, if Newcastle actually take their chances, this is a blowout home win. They are much better than Leicester. I could see this being 3 or 4 goals for Newcastle here.
All right, let's do it. Good bounce back from the Meat Man, 3-1-1 on his last appearance, and you have been all over this from the get-go. Sunday, let's go first half over, Brentford and Chelsea, as Brentford continues to score early and often in the first half.
Same again. That's the first half goals. I've made a lot of money out of this season in Brentford first half games. I hope a lot of the viewers here have managed to cash in too. And most of the time, I'm taking the bet when Brentford are at home. They are away this time, but I think the matchup really suits goals and high tempo, frantic energy right from the get-go here. Brentford are not a good away team. They concede a lot of goals away from home. Their results away from home are generally not very good at all. I think they might have the second worst away record in the league. Yeah, 6 defeats, 1 draw, and you just never trust them on the road. And this Chelsea team are sneaky good. Might even be a dark horse for to win the Premier League, even if Liverpool were to slip up. There's a lot of young talent here. Cole Palmer might be the best player in the Premier League right now, certainly in terms of form, along with Mo Salah, of course. And, they've got goals in them everywhere, Chelsea. I really like what I'm seeing from them. I think the difference this time is the goal line has gone up by a quarter in the first half. So we're taking over 1.5. We need 2 goals in that first half. Otherwise, this is either simple, you win or you lose. all or nothing play, which a lot of people like that, of course. But based on what we've seen this season, Brentford have scored in every single first half game, bar 2 in the Premier League this season. And even if they don't score here, Chelsea are very capable of leading 2-0 or more at the interval. I say the same thing every week, just the way Brentford play. The first half, a wide open, action-packed. Chelsea, a very good team to watch at the minute as well. And I actually thought this goal line for first half would be more than 1.5. I thought it'd be 1.75 or even 2 on the Asian line for first half. There's a lot of goals here. I think the whole match will be goals as well.
All right, excellent. Staying Sunday, how about another total, and this time an under with Brighton and Crystal Palace?
Going under. Under here. Under 2.75 goals. It's around about the minus 107 mark here. And main reason for this is because it's a big rivalry. The two teams hate each other. It's a very strange rivalry. I think they call it the M23 Derby. It's to do with a motorway which links South London to Brighton. This is one of those you've got to Google, really. The history of it's a bit weird, why there is a rivalry. But anyway, they don't like each other, and no one wants to lose this game. And when that happens, often you're going to get stop-start. Soccer, fouls everywhere, players trying to time waste. If anyone gets ahead, they want to game manage. The result's really important here. And, 5 of the last 6 head-to-heads have gone under 2.5 goals. Last season, it did end 4-1 to Brighton, which was unusual for this fixture. Doesn't normally happen. Palace, I think, will come here with a defensive setup, make themselves hard to break down, and Brighton are not always that good when they face this sort of team. Brighton are much better when they are the underdog and they've got a lot of space to run into. So, for me, this has got to be under. I mean, I'd happily would have gone under 2.5, actually, guys. But we got a quarter more of we got a 2.75 goal line here, which means if there's 3 goals scored exactly, you only lose half your stake. We don't want that, but it's better than losing your whole stake, isn't it? But I think this could be a draw. Maybe, 0-0's got a chance. If we get to half-time at 0-0, it's got a chance. But I'm thinking the 1-1 exact score is what I'm expecting from this outcome. I think there won't be much between the two teams. It's going to be a close game, which definitely gives strength to the unders.
Follow the Money, Paulie and Mitch Veason, the Sports Betting Network. On the Progressive Guest Line is Steve Wist, the Meat Man, and Meat Man Soccer on X. Because we win in Nordic Pod, let's go to the Championship League, the league below the Premier League. And you had a winner on this club the last time with Blackburn. You want to take plus money on Blackburn to get it done here. Tell us why.
This is a massive, massive price. This is the best bet of the week from me. It's got to be Blackburn on the money line to beat Luton at plus 120. They've won their last 5 games. They haven't conceded a goal in the last 5. I said last week how impressed I've been with Blackburn. They're really well managed. They're setting themselves up perfectly. And they're playing a Luton team who are shambles away from home. 3rd worst away record. I think they've lost 6 straight on the road, along those lines anyway. And Luton are a side that really struggle when they got 3 games in a week, and this is it for them. Their manager's been under continual pressure all season. Feels like he's always one bad result away from the chop. They won in midweek, which probably saved his job, but this is such a tough match for them against an informed Blackburn team who are now up to 5th in the table. This is a big shock. I thought Blackburn would go down this season. They've been way better than I thought. Credit to them. And I cannot believe we're plus 120 here on the money line. I genuinely can't. I thought they'd be minus 125 tops. So this is just a clear bet. I was always going to bet them this week if they were above a certain odds. And this is, definitely the best bet on the segment today.
Beautiful.
I'm going to advise Blackburn money line.
Strong. Okay. I have a future on Sunderland, and they were looking good, and they cannot score. Every damn match is like 1-1, 1-0. So now they're coming back to the pack here, and you want to oppose them with Swansea.
Yeah, Sunderland. I know a Sunderland fan who goes to all the games, and I said, "What's been going wrong?" He said, "There's just too much probably youth in the team, inexperience in the team, and that is maybe costing them in crucial moments." I actually think they'll finish in the top 6, but I fancy opposing them here. Swansea on the draw no bet against Sunderland. I've got to admit, there's probably a good chance of a draw in the game, which is why I want that draw no bet, full security. You won't lose anything. You won't lose any of your stakes if it does end a draw or a tie. But Swansea are playing some decent soccer. I watched some against my own team, Leeds, recently. Leeds won a thriller 4-3. But Swansea, I thought, gave a very good account of themselves. They have a style, right? Whoever manages Swansea has to play possession soccer. It has to be nice on the eye. It's just the club philosophy. Some clubs have that philosophy in soccer around the world, and they are one of them. They found some form. I think they're unbeaten in 5 straight games. One of their problems is they sometimes do draw too many games. But again, we don't mind a draw here. Sunderland definitely have drawn too many games of late, and the lack of goals is a problem. I think there's 2 issues, Paulie. They're not creating enough chances, and when they are creating them, they're not finishing them. So there's a little bit of a confidence crisis. They've only won 1 of the last 8 games. So, based on that, then they're drawn a bet away from home. I mean, they've got to travel to Wales as well, which is a long way for them. It's only a small factor, but it all adds up when you factor in bets, as you know. So even money, close to even money here. Swansea on the draw no bet. Handicap looks like a pretty safe play to me, albeit I did admit, there is a reasonable chance of an exact tie. So I wouldn't go money line here, but the draw no bet's a good one.
All right, very good. You can follow Steve on X. He's at Meatman Soccer, Because We Win podcast, and Nordic Football Pod as well. Steve, awesome. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you very much, guys. And good luck to you as well over the next few days.
Thank you, sir.
There you go.
In sports betting and trading, probability is a key to success. Discover the power of high probability trading with Todd Bubba Horowitz, former floor trader and sports bettor with over 45 years of experience. Visit bubbatrading.com/VSiN, code VSiN500 to save $500. Don't miss the chance to gain the edge in your trading game today. bubbatrading.com/VSiN, promo code VSiN500. Good to have you aboard, Bubba.
We'll dive into tonight's basketball card. 3 games in the NBA and a juicy rivalry in college basketball. Good numbers next here on VSiN.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
It's going to be a fun conversation as professional sports bettor Brad Powers joins the program now, as he does every single Thursday at this time. You can follow Brad on X. He's at BradPower7, and his website is BradPowerSports.com. He is on the Progressive guest line. Okay, so we talked to you about your philosophy last week, betting these bowl games because you don't know which players are going to transfer. You don't know which coaches are going to be leaving. Did you find yourself dialing it back compared to previous years, or has it still been guns a-blazing?
Yeah, I think probably guns a-blazing compared to most. I would say, tallied it back as far as I'm concerned, maybe 10, 15, 20%, somewhere around there. But I mean, for that means instead of betting every single bowl game, betting 75, 80% of the bowl games. And I ended up making about 30 bets on Sunday and Monday. So I look at it's not that complicated. I mean, you bet against teams with interim coaches because it's most likely that those teams are going to have the kids hit the portal. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure it out that, you look at the upcoming NFL draft and see who's projected in the first and second round. And if they're not playing in a playoff game, you would tend to think that those players aren't going to play in a meaningless bowl game. So you can figure a lot of this stuff out. But, yeah, so far so good, but we'll see. And getting closing line value has never been my problem. It's getting home and getting the money. We'll see if it ends up working out.
Well, let me ask you this. So there's no doubt that you've built out probably an incredible network over the years of people that you can rely on, during the season, specifically maybe during the bowl season. So how much of the news do you get this time of year comes on, I don't know, Twitter, internet, social media, compared to your phone blowing up and getting messages from people who you know?
Yeah, it's still... I mean, I would still say it's 60, 70 to 60, 40, 70, 30 as far as still reading on the net. But I'll get a few where somebody has inside that this guy's not going to play. This guy is. I just got one before we came on a game, but the surprise, and maybe we can get into it. But I was told that Cam Ward probably is going to play for Miami. So. Yeah, it kind of depends on, I also get info that's not always right because I was told that Arkansas was going to be okay, and that's been my worst bet that I made so far this bowl season. I laid 2.5, and now they're catching 3. So that one, my sources weren't good on that one.
What do you think of Belichick going to Carolina and the win total up to 7.5?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always going to be pessimistic in some of those instances. He hasn't coached in college. A lot of the people that he's surrounding himself have not been involved in the college game. So the college game is completely different than what it was a few years ago. Now, some might say, hey, it's more relatable to the NFL than ever before, as far as, having a GM, filling out your roster, paying players and whatnot. But I have my doubts there. I mean, usually when you fire a 73-year-old coach, you go opposite and you go with the youth movement. You don't, hire a guy that's 1 year younger and hasn't coached in the college level. So I honestly don't like the move that much. And I'm a little surprised. I've seen the win total. I haven't dived in deep, but I'm a little surprised. Early money on the over, 6.5 up to 7.5.
How about Dan Mullen coming to UNLV?
Yeah, on the surface, I like it. It looks very similar to what they did with Barry Odom. Hired a relatively successful coach that's been in the SEC for a while. Mullen even more successful than Barry Odom. Obviously, more on the offensive side. Dan Mullen's a unique personality, likes to have fun, and this is a city where you can have a lot of fun. So I'm anxious. I got to see who he surrounds himself staff-wise, because there was a knock on him on Florida. He wasn't a dog in the recruiting trail, and that concerns me. But as far as a big name and swinging for the fences again, kudos for UNLV. I think in that regard, it's another good hire.
Yeah, I would totally agree with that. Which one are you hotter on here? Scott Frost going back to Central Florida or Rich Rodriguez going back to West Virginia?
Rich Rod at West Virginia, because, Rich Rod's still winning. Look what he's done in Jacksonville State. He didn't miss jumping up from FCS to FBS. They didn't, miss a beat. Just won the Conference USA championship. He had off-field issues at Arizona. It wasn't because he was fired for on-field stuff, so he won there. He had Arizona in the Fiesta Bowl. At the last stop previous to Jacksonville State. So I like that move. I did not the rumors and the stuff I heard, and I don't think they're rumors because they were so specific with Scott Frost and what was going on there the last year or two in Nebraska, leads me to believe that Orlando, Florida is probably not a good spot for him.
Damn. Okay.
A worse spot for him or Las Vegas for Dan Mullen?
Boy, I put my hand on the Bible here today. I would say I'm more concerned with Scott Frost, but it's pretty close. That's a tough question.
God. All right. Excellent. Very good. So you mentioned the Arkansas bet. Is the best bet then Memphis? You took 3.5 and now they're up to 4.5?
No, the best bet, even though it's moved to touchdown still, I still think on the board. And the only thing that would concern me is an injury to the quarterback because they play this week is Army. I think Army's going to absolutely demolish Marshall. And usually I would say, obviously you always want to get the best of the number because it doesn't matter in the long run. This is a game where I don't say this at all, usually ever. I just see, I don't see how the game's close, honestly. And it's a 15.5 point spread. It's already not it's supposed to be close. When I say not close, I mean 40, 50 point type blowout. And, how can you lay points with Army? They just did it in a bowl game a few years ago. They put a 70 spot on Houston. That was a team with their head coach. Got a Marshall team with an interim coach. They have more players in the transfer portal than anybody in this bowl season. You got backups going to be trying to defend the option. You got a skeleton crew coaching staff trying to prep for the option. And the best part about it is you don't have to worry about any of this stuff. Transfer portal, motivation, nothing with the service academies. And that's why they've been incredible bowl bets the last 10, 15 years. As good as any. It's been like 70% against the spread if you blindly bet on the 3 service academies in bowl games.
That's awesome. By the way, reading your newsletter, so you broke down basically for people who, and these are very popular, obviously, confidence polls, right? Just picking the games outright. Army with a bullet, then you're number one in terms of that, right?
Absolutely. If I could have gave that double the score of any other game, that it would have gotten that.
Wow.
Isn't that something? They win the conference title game and the coach leaves to go to the last place team at Southern Miss?
Yeah, there was rumors even last year, if you remember, his quarterback, Cam Fancher, I think we talked about on the show at that time. He basically, when the quarterback hit the portal, he's like, I don't blame him. He's not getting any support from the locals. So that was Charles Huff, the Marshall head coach at the time. That was his comments. So I think there's been a rift between the boosters, the athletic department, and him, even all season long. So I wasn't surprised. What I was surprised is obviously them beating down Louisiana 31-3. I didn't see that.
Okay. How about the game out here next week? Well, involving our team, UNLV. So it opened 1.5, which you grabbed, got up to 5. You had the Odom news, which is a great play against UNLV. And now we have Cal Mendoza's in the portal. The left tackle's out. The left guard might not play. So now we're seeing a big movement back down to the original number. Do you do anything now with Cal UNLV next week?
I would still lean Cal minus the 1.5, but obviously when I was betting minus 1.5, I was expecting to have 2, 3, 4 points of line value like I originally had before the Mendoza news. So that was surprising to me. I thought it was just an illness. That's why he missed the finale. Maybe it ended up being something else. He just didn't feel like playing for Cal anymore, and now he's in the portal. So a little bit surprising, but I do like almost blindly betting against interim coaches. Guys are looking for other jobs. They're interviewing for other jobs. Obviously, with the portal, players are leaving left and right. I just don't know how dialed in UNLV will be.
All right. So of the other teams who are looking at quarterbacks hitting the transfer portal, and again, you broke it down and had ton of examples in your newsletter: Tulane, Northern Illinois, North Texas, Louisville, Liberty, Duke, some others as well. Is there a game involving those teams that you like the most on the opposing side?
As far as betting the other team and fading that, well, obviously Marshall's among the mix there because their top 3 quarterbacks are out. Keep an eye on the Western Kentucky situation, and their top 3 quarterbacks are in the portal, and maybe I'm going to go in a different direction than what you think. So, does that mean that we blindly fade Western Kentucky? No. Because just because they got 10, 12 guys in the portal doesn't mean Western Kentucky, all those guys are not going to play. We just saw last year against Old Dominion, a lot of the guys, just because they're in the portal, still ended up playing in the bowl game. So, yeah, just because the portal doesn't automatically mean that you're not going to play. So keep an eye on that one, although the money continues to come in on JMU.
Okay, that's the UNLV Cal game is Wednesday, the LA Bowl. Western Kentucky, James Madison Wednesday as well. How about the game Saturday, South Alabama, Western Michigan?
Looks like Gio Lopez is going to play now for South Alabama. Was a question he wasn't going to play. Now he is going to play. Heavy plays, then I lean South Alabama. Much better statistically, played the stronger schedule, and obviously Sunbelt is significantly better than the MAC. I didn't like Western Michigan's close of the season outside the finale.
All right, sign up our holiday special today. VSiN Pro access, everything we do through May 1st, $79. Unlimited access, every best bet, every host, every guest. The betting splits, DraftKings and Circa, 24/7 video access. The betting guides and the college football playoff guide out now. Limited time holiday offer, VSiN.com/subscribe. VSiN.com/subscribe.
We will move into the first round playoff games up next with Brad Powers. Every game is lined above a touchdown. The team Brad gives the best chance to win outright is who? We'll ask him next here on VSiN.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Good to have you on board as we are live in downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino in this hour, a Thursday night football betting preview, and we'll tell you Michael Lombardi explained how the North Carolina job came together, and he is leaving VSiN in a couple of weeks. You're going to hear from him coming up in a little bit on this show. We continue here talking college football with professional sports bettor Brad Powers. He is on the Progressive guest line. So I said this before the break. All these games in the first round, Brad, are lined above a touchdown. Which team, if any, do you think has a really good chance to win outright?
Be Tennessee, honestly. Obviously, the best road team out of the 4, in my opinion. Not only in my opinion, my power ratings or any, I think, just general perception. And it's not necessarily that I'm pro Tennessee. I am like necessarily what I've seen from Tennessee, particularly on offense since SEC play started. But it's more of a, here we go again, Ohio State, if they don't have early success. So I got, on Sunday, I got the playoff show in the background. And I hear Herbie make like such a good statement, very contrarian, that I had to like look up. I'm like, who is that talking right now? And his point was that he would have preferred the Ohio State to be on the road in the first round because, if things don't go well early, the crowd's going to boo. And I don't disagree with that at all. In fact, I fully expect it if they go 3 and out to start off the game, that there'll be, really loud boos. And I think, well, it's no different than going on. I think it's more disheartening that it's coming from your home fans than any road stadium, road atmosphere where it's kind of us against the world type of mentality. So, and also, Tennessee's defensive front, last I checked, right up there with Michigan, one of the best. We'll see the game plan. Is it going to be running into the teeth of the defense again, or are we going to actually try to get it out to your playmakers on the outside? We'll see. I mean, the elements might not call for it. And maybe it has to be in between the tackles. And if it's in between the tackles, I certainly don't like Ohio State's offensive line against Tennessee's defensive line.
The AD came out and backed Ryan Day, but saying he'll be back. I mean, if you lose this game, and again, you spent $20 million here to go out and lose to Michigan with supposedly all this talent, lose to Tennessee at home, you think he'll be back?
I don't think they got the money to buy him out and fire him and pay not only Day the buyout, but all the assistants that they brought in. Obviously, you got to put together a team and then welcome in a new coach and pay him $50+ million on that original contract. So I know Ohio State's got a ton of money, but we're talking something that would cost them at least $100 million. And I don't think they have it at this point. And I don't think they're the most, I think, reasonable thing would be Day taking another job, kind of a soft landing spot if something were to open. I don't know if anything's going to open this cycle, though. That would entice him.
Okay.
What do you make of the total, by the way? 47, a touch high?
Feels that way. I want to bet under. Yeah, I want to see this Ohio State game plan. Are they going to be able to? If I can trust the forecast, and usually I don't trust it until maybe 5 days out. If it's not looking great, then I'll be on the under. But I have to think after what they did against Michigan, Ohio State's going to have to open it up a little bit on the outside. That actually says Ohio State maybe team total over for me.
Yeah, well, I'm looking right now. So Columbus in the great state of Ohio, South Bend in Indiana, both those states have legal sports betting. I love what you're doing here. You're going to be, explain this to the audience, you're going to be at both games so you can get involved live if you want then.
Yeah, I can. That's the beauty now. I mean, obviously, if you wanted to continue to bet, I mean, you were making sacrifices going to games. Obviously, I wouldn't do it on a normal Saturday when there's 50 games going on, but rare opportunity. We got home playoff games for the first time. I'm a fan first and foremost. I love the sport, and I think the best part of this college football playoff is the home atmospheres. And I grew up in Ohio, Notre Dame fan. Perfect scenario. I could go to both. One's on Friday, one's on Saturday. I can't, I must not be too big of a knucklehead because game day's doing 2 shows next week. So it should be a fun trip. Excited. I can bet live with both having it and bet at different sportsbooks than I can here in Vegas, and probably to be able to take advantage more of live stuff than I can here in Vegas.
Yeah. That is awesome, by the way. Great job by you.
Yep. How about lots changed since we talked to you? How about Notre Dame's path now and favor in the look-ahead line against Georgia if that's the matchup?
Well, yeah, I mean, the first time they get a home game here was expected to be Alabama. So obviously Alabama's a little bit better than Indiana. And I still have question marks on Indiana because of a lack of strength of schedule. And they played 2 top 30 teams. Michigan wasn't a good look. That game was in doubt at the very end. And then they got blown out by Ohio State. So that's a favorable matchup for Notre Dame. And I think more pertinent to their path being favorable is Carson Beck not playing. Not that Carson Beck's been lived up to anywhere near as close to expectations coming into the season, but he's still a 3-4 point downgrade to Gunnar Stockton. And the look-ahead lines, I was surprised to see Notre Dame favored. And, I wasn't stunned. I think general public's going to be stunned when most see it next week, if that's the case. If Notre Dame, just meets expectations or even exceeds it against Indiana, I fully expect that. And Carson Beck's out. Notre Dame's going to be favored over Georgia.
Yeah. Yep. What did you make of the path that the committee gave Penn State?
Not only Penn State, but Texas. I mean, enough where, a couple of shows asked me to fill out a bracket, and it's a favorable enough path, even though I don't trust James Franklin in big games. I mean, there's such a difference between being a double-digit favorite in the quarterfinal and Georgia and Notre Dame being basically a pick-em game. Mm-hmm. Let's say it's Ohio State and Oregon. That's pick-em on a neutral. And Texas and Penn State are going to be double-digit favorites in the quarterfinal. So, that's significant. So it's enough where – and the wear and tear on your body playing, somebody that's in your weight class, I got Texas playing Penn State for the national title with Texas, the 5 seed winning it all.
All right.
Oh, Did you check out the Exacta market
Yeah,
on that number?
Do that. That is available.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure if I just bet money lines and rolled it over, it would be better, and I could, tap out whenever I wanted. But yeah, I'll have to look and see if there's an Exacta bracket. I think that'd be cool, wouldn't that? I mean, that would be not meant necessarily cater to me, but cater to the audience.
Sure.
So you're on an island on this, but you're okay with it. You made the game 14. You seem like you're the only guy who likes Texas. What are you thinking? You open up, 8.5, and you made it 14. You love them.
I do love them. It's still my best bet. I am on an island. I'm okay being on an island this year. It's actually, I get scared when I get too much CLV, believe it or not, because there should be resistance. But in this case, I'm seeing a couple of things. Number one, let's talk Clemson. The 4 best teams they played this year, Georgia got blown out in the opener, got embarrassed at home. I don't think people realize that Louisville's a top 20, maybe even top 15 team as far as a power rating. They got blown out on their home field, that one. Lost to South Carolina at home. And then, the SMU game looked good for 3 quarters, but I'm here to tell you, they play a 5th quarter, they play overtime. SMU is going to beat Clemson. So what performance out of any of those 4 gives you hope that they can go on the road and compete with Texas? And I'll say this, Texas, the last 2 games, the box score, much more dominant than the final score against A&M and Georgia. So I think we're getting value still with Texas. I've not had many power rating disparities this big, at least among the top programs like I do in this one.
How can Texas clean that up, by the way? Do we get an appearance from Arch Manning? Would that take care of it, you think, at and around the goal line?
I'd like to see an Arch Manning package because, the concern is it's tough laying points with an offense that's been struggling in the red zone. I think having an extra week, hopefully Quinn Ewers is a little bit healthier. Did you see that brace that he was still wearing against Georgia? I would hope Sark has a game plan. It's more of a play against Clemson's offense. I don't think has any success. SMU's defensive line was starting to get after Klubnik, and Maffa. What do you have, like 30 yards in the game? If you're only getting 30 yards against SMU, what are you going to get against Texas?
How about SMU Penn State? And I know you don't trust Franklin, and that's fine. I don't trust them either. They look great offensively in the Big Ten title game. But SMU, they were a little spooked to start. But once they settle down, I totally agree. And I love Jennings and what they've looked like offensively since the quarterback change. What do you think here? Well, this could be the one game. I know what you're saying with you're right, with the weather. This could be the one game where weather is a problem, though. Penn State more than a touchdown.
You hit the nail on the head. This is the one where I'm going to be really tuned into the weather. Not that Dallas does get cold, but, it could be brutally cold. And they were spooked by the atmosphere. I know they settled in, but this is going to be even a worse atmosphere. That was a half-filled stadium. And they're playing with expectation. I think the expectations as far as the moment, hey, if we lose, we might not make the playoff, kind of hurt them. They're playing with a little bit more free money in this game. But on the negative side, they're playing in front of a whiteout. And I know Penn State's not, the ticket demand isn't the same as like the Notre Dame-Indiana game, but that'd still be the most hostile environment by far that SMU's any of those players or coaches have been a part of. So I do lean Penn State, but it's a pizza bet.
Okay. So you might be the perfect guy to ask this because I know others have talked about, hey, look, now that our team made the playoffs, you're asking us to maybe go to 4 games. This is going to be very, very difficult. And that goes back all the way to the title games last Saturday. As someone who grew up a Notre Dame fan, you're going to this first round playoff game. If they keep winning, do you plan on going to more of their games in the playoffs?
No.
That's it?
No.
Okay. It's a pretty simple answer.
I looked at the prices compared. Have you seen? It's like $1,000 a ticket.
Crazy.
I didn't pay that, but it's still ridiculous. No, I don't plan on going to each one. And I think it's going to be a problem. I'll give you another one, and I'll make it quick. Boy, I don't know what this is going to do to the teams, especially that make the national championship game, what it does to their winter workouts, their entire offseason schedule, if it's going to impact them for the following season because you're playing an extra 2-3 games and you're already going into your next season's calendar.
Good point. Yeah. I also want to see what this is going to look like. It's like $1,200 to stare at a Fairfield Inn.
Yeah.
It's what they're asking for with these games. And if you didn't have not much notice either. Oh, we're in the playoff. Oh, the game's in a couple weeks. Oh, Fairfield Inn, $1,200.
Well, and how about this angle too? What about all the students who are back home for winter break? So are they going to be completely sold out in the first round?
I know Notre Dame made adjustments to their actual exam schedule so they could still be there for this. So they had some, at least they were thinking ahead. So they should have a full stadium.
Yeah. All right. Follow Brad on X. He's at BradPower7. Website, BradPowerSports.com. If we don't talk to you next week, man, have a great trip.
All right. Right back at you guys. Merry Christmas.
Yep.
Thank you.
Same to you. There you go. He was on the Progressive guest line. Yeah, he's saying during the break, Columbus to South Bend. That's like a 3.5-hour drive. He'll go to bang out the game Friday night, go to Saturday night. It's a hell of a trip.
That is. Well played.
Michael Lombardi, VSiN host, for a couple more weeks, has accepted the GM spot with Bill Belichick as the head coach at North Carolina. He'll explain why coming up next on VSiN.